Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this opinions video for this week's SmackDown. This was a pre-recorded show. I don't think it's unfair to suggest it didn't reach the highest of highs. We're going to start by looking at the match scores, and there was only 3 matches. One of them was a gauntlet match though, right? So that did go for quite a while. But LA Knight against Santos Escobar kicked off the show. That got good 99%. That's all right. The only thing I'd say is we have on the past few shows been getting into that great range. This was not the same level as Andrade and Carmelo. That was special, right? That was somewhat special. And wasn't it like Ilya against Braun on Monday, and that did well. So this never got to those levels, but this picked up a good 99%. So, okay, not bad. And then the gauntlet match, that was great. Great 56. I do think it's the ending of that match that does quite a bit of heavy lifting, but either way, it still gets great 56. And then our main event, Tiffany and Nia against Bayley and Michin. Lowest rated match on the show, right? Good 87, which for a main event is very disappointing. And honestly, I agree. I thought that it just lacked chemistry. It just felt a bit off. It's hard to put it into words, but like it just didn't flow very well. But, you know, it is what it is. It was what it was, and we move on. So what we'll do is we'll spend the next 20 minutes, well, not even that, 17 minutes or so, going through your comments. And then at the end, we'll have a look at how you scored the show in the poll. And at some point, I'll kind of put a score on this show myself as well. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Dylan said, I didn't think SmackDown was as bad as the past 2 weeks, but it still needs to step up because Raw beats it. Raw destroys it, yes. E3-way said it was the SmackDown before SummerSlam. I expected nothing and I received just as much. So that's from Brandon, who says, P.S. Please give our podcast a listen. Brielle said better than the last couple of weeks. I'd give it 6 out of 10. John Elite said, I can't wait for Tiffany's custom briefcase. Wonder when Bloodline get the title shot. That's next week. So 2 tag championship matches next week. Not too familiar with Terrance Crawford's. Amazing. I think they announced and said he is the #1 pound for pound. So arguably the greatest boxer in the world right now. If I'm not mistaken, tonight was the second time that Austin Theory went night-night. Looking forward to SummerSlam next week. Here's Ashma, who said, it was 5 out of 10. It was okay. Carrie says, boring. Luca said, kind of the same old stuff. And I hate to say it, but it's because of how good Raw has really been. SmackDown has had some good matches, but the ending is always the same. And some of the stuff just isn't as good as Raw. Thank God SummerSlam is near because they need Roman back. Ron said 1 out of 10. Seems like the same stale action every week. Robbo said it's getting worse every week. It's getting worse. Colton said missed it because I was moving stuff around, but heard it was good. Lover of Buckley's feet said good, 8 out of 10. The Ford jump out of the ring was amazing. Logan James says, hello Daze. Hello Logan. Great SmackDown. My rating is a 7. We need another hour of SmackDown. It's getting claustrophobic trying to cram so much storytelling into the limited time. So much talent getting rushed or the drama unfolding in pre-recorded backstage sections. Give us more goddamn SmackDown. The tag team gauntlet was the best tag team action we've had in WWE in months. Bloodline 50-50 that they win the tag titles because Motor City Machine Guns showing up on SmackDown for a screw job on the Bloodline and DIY would be my prediction next week. Do you think CM Punk is great booked run NXT? Sean is retired booked run NXT. Do I think CM Punk will run NXT? Eventually. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, obviously, but When he retires, that's something that he wants to do, yes. I mean, obviously, Sean runs it at the moment, but maybe Triple H could call Sean up and say to Sean, listen, I want you to run SmackDown. I'm going to run Raw. You know, he could do that if he wanted to. And then CM Punk runs NXT. That might be a glimpse into what the future looks like, you know. But equally, it might not be, because Sean might not want to do that. I think he's very happy just being down in Florida. Who knows if when he gives that up, to be honest. I think he's really enjoying that role. You know, he doesn't have to travel around. He gets to go to the same place. He gets to work with the next generation. He's still Shawn Michaels. He can still appear at WrestleMania and have a WrestleMania moment. He's still Shawn Michaels. But his day-to-day is fun. It's teaching. It's training. It's developing. It's helping. It's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when he'll step aside. But apparently Punk would love that job. Matt said, I thought they could have sent Cody out or someone to screw the Bloodline from that #1 contender match to spice up the storyline. Marge, is that how you say it? Marge, WWE guy, said, in my opinion, SmackDown is boring, but it's because it's lacking talent. SmackDown needs to be 3 hours now. But surely they would need the talent, though, because if 2 hours is boring because they haven't got the talent, then I can't see how making it 3 hours would help, unless you move talent around. But I don't know. I don't know if we've got to wait for the next draft for that, or will there be a bit of a shake-up when, obviously, you know, next year, massive, because SmackDown goes to the USA Network, Raw goes to Netflix. So who knows? There might be a little bit of moving people around in the end of the year. Matt said, I feel like Captain Positivity, but I enjoyed the show. I had very low expectations because it was recorded. So I guess that's the reason I enjoyed it. If I was expecting more, I would have been disappointed. I think we might get Jimmy during the Tag Team Championship match next week. James said it got spoiled due to it being pre-recorded, so I didn't watch it. Seemed pretty bland from what I did watch, though. Joey said, I haven't watched it yet, but I cannot sleep and I wanted to get involved. Nails versus Virgil, SummerSlam 92. In the words of Daze, let's go. Joey. Wrestling Daze. Wrestling Daze. So, Joey, get some sleep. Master Taker said, SmackDown was great. I give it 7 out of 10. Sam said, I didn't watch tonight, but I was in person for this one, and people say it was bad, but in person it was amazing. I got to see some of my other faves that are just below Punk, like Corbin, Apollo, OC. I'd give it 5 out of 5 from me, but I could be biased because this was a taping that I was at. Samantha, shout out to you. Samantha said the stream was great as always. SmackDown was predictable. Raymond said, I thought honestly SmackDown was okay. I'm going to give it a 7 for me. But at the end with the Bloodline with Solo mentioning Roman, I have a strong feeling that he'll return at SummerSlam. Daze, you are my favourite YouTuber and streamer. Much support from me. Raymond, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you. Nathan said, pretty boring, to be honest. Nothing really of note happened. Enjoyed the stream as always. That's good. Nathan, shout out to you. Hello, hello, hello. Says, enough said. There we go. That says everything right there. So there we go. Hello, hello, hello. Here's Zach. Let's see what Zach's got to say. There we go. I think that says it all. And here's Ratchet the Owl. I know this sounds crazy, but here's my number. Call me maybe. But I really like the Corbin-Apollo pairing. The gauntlet was predictable, even though it was still entertaining. Opening with LA Knight and Escobar was a good call. Main event wasn't bad. Roman will definitely be at SummerSlam. Show 5. Better, not much. So, is that 5 out of 5? 5 out of 10? I don't know what that 5 is out of, but it got a 5. Here's Zerlak, who says boring. Ben Bayley said it felt very flat. It feels like they are more focused on Raw. I think even NXT is better than SmackDown at the moment. I think the gauntlet match was good, but that's about it. Hopefully after SummerSlam, things get better. Nishi said it was better than last week's show. I love the gauntlet match, and it's safe to say that all the teams involved were great, and I'm happy that these teams got valuable TV time. I personally love the show. Hashtag SmackDown. Raiders Boogie said it was 10 out of 10. Everything I needed in this SmackDown. Night needed that boost for SummerSlam. The gauntlet was good for Jacob Fatu to excel. Nia's match with Bayley shows Tiffy will cash in. Solo's promo proves Roman is going to destroy him. And lastly, Mr. Cleveland is Jake Paul or Machine Gun Kelly. Gaming Fanatic said 6 out of 10. Some interesting storyline additions building up to SummerSlam. Good stream days. Keep it up. Thank you. And you. We'll probably get Roman and Jimmy at SummerSlam. I did send you something regarding future Bloodline members arriving, maybe at SummerSlam, from something that I saw. Not sure if it's true. We'll have to see, says Gaming Fanatic. Carl, bad. When Tiffany giving stink face to Bayley was a highlight, you know it's bad. Waller is awful, and that segment just to promote the Saudi boxing was so horrible, it almost put me to sleep. The Annihilator is ruined for me thanks to Bianca. After seeing Bianca say she peed herself after being hit with it, the first thought when Bayley got hit was, did Bayley pee herself? I thought that as well. I thought that. Yeah, Bianca said that she peed herself a little bit when Nia hit her with that Annihilator. Yeah. Yeah, I did think that also. TJF1983 said, best thing about it was your singing on the stream and finding out about you and Triple T's mom. I think everyone knew in their heart of hearts. Probably a 5 out of 10 for SmackDown. 10 out of 10 because of the stream. Debuts. Look at this. A front cover for Solo's singing album. Acknowledge Me. The long-awaited Tribal Chief. Love that. Love that. It's a great job. Well done. Well done. Very good. Christian. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Bayley said no Chelsea Green, 3 out of 10. Would be 4 if there was Chelsea. NXT and Raw have been much better over the past few weeks. I think if Triple H is mainly focusing on Raw at the moment, he should hand over control of SmackDown to someone else, but only for a little bit though. Kiki said, I'm going to give SmackDown 5 out of 3. Wow, big score. Al Brooks Pack Pick said, not the best. All I got. Stream was great though. I'm glad you enjoyed it, buds. It is lovely to know that people do have fun on the stream, so that's cool. That gives me a warm feeling. Cody Fan Account said it was very mid. Jacob still has more aura than Solo. 100. DIY better not lose next week. Was it basically confirmed that Roman is coming back at SummerSlam? Yeah, well, no, it's not confirmed. I mean, I haven't heard anyone saying it's done. It's definitely happening, but I've not heard it say that it's not happening either. Like, everyone seems to be expecting it. Let's put it that way. But no, nothing confirmed that I've seen. Jonathan said 6 out of 10. Enjoyed the tag team gauntlet match. Rest was okay. Daze, do you think Bloodline will win the tag titles, or do we see Jimmy costing them? I genuinely don't know. I mean, I think that you need to, and I said this during the stream, you need to build up the Bloodline because they're about to have a massive end of the year. I mean, if we're going to do Bloodline, then I feel like you need to really build up this new Bloodline who haven't really achieved anything. And, you know, there's no Heyman around. They lack a bit of star power. I think Jacob's kind of got himself over massively quickly. But I don't know. I kind of look and think, would it be good if they had some titles to like legitimize them? I don't think Solo gets Cody's. So does it make sense to give the Bloodline DIYs, because I don't think anyone wants the Bloodline to get them off DIY. I think people like DIY having the belts, but then you could argue that's more of a reason to do it, because you're going to break a few hearts, you're going to upset a few fans, you're going to generate some heat, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, is it? So I genuinely don't know. If I was booking it, I probably would put it on the Bloodline. Bloodline is more important right now than DIY, because right now we're building to, we think, Roman coming back, and we're building to Summit. So Bloodline versus Bloodline at the end of the year is going to be huge. I said during the stream, I don't mind if Bloodline win, but it's DIY that gets the belts back. They get it back. They beat the Bloodline further down the road, right? We could even see DIY training, putting in the work, and they beat the Bloodline and get their belts back, right? Because the thing is, we need to build the Bloodline up right now. And a little further down the road, we might go through a period where we want to cause a bit of dissension in the Bloodline. One of the great ways of doing that is by having them lose some titles. You know, if you've got the tag titles in the Bloodline, you want to cause a bit of friction. You know, you could have Solo telling them, you better not lose these belts, you know? Maybe Jacob is out, injured, and it's going to be Tonga and Tama that have to defend the titles. And Solo says to him, you better not lose these belts. And of course, then they lose the belts back to DIY, causes loads of friction. Like, you can build it into the stories, can't you? So I like DIY. I agree we need to keep building them up. But if I was working in creative, I'm in no doubt as to what the most important thing is I've got to be doing right now. And that is the Bloodline, setting everything up for what's to follow with Bloodline versus Bloodline and blah, 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 you know. So I genuinely don't know. You could have Bloodline about to win and then have Jimmy come out next week and cost them. You could do that as well. That would be fine. But I don't know. I think you've still, if you do that, have missed an opportunity to build up the Bloodline, because we don't know that they would have gone on to win. Right, so, but if they actually win, then we know they have won. So, yeah, I do get the Jimmy argument, but I think you can kind of go both ways on it. I'm interested to know what they do. I think it's a really good match. MVR NDS said, much better than the last few weeks, but not as good as Raw, but enjoyable. Bayley finally has a worthwhile feud going as champion, and Corbin and Apollo are a great team. Coach Co said it was Dookie Water. Dookie Water. There we go. I am pooping. Giant Matzior said Raw is on fire. SmackDown needs some better stories. Raw got them all. Hasbo said, I'll try and not be negative, but for a show so close to SummerSlam, and considering how well Raw is doing right now, what a boring show. Nando said flat, didn't care or know the boxer, so that moment did nothing for me. Tag Gauntlet was the highlight. Hate how not even one of the tag titles gets a pay-per-view shot outside of WrestleMania. SummerSlam is in a stadium, and despite being champs, they aren't on the show, let alone all the other pay-per-views, says Nando. It's a good point. Jimmy Johnson said, I thought it was okay. Gauntlet match was predictable with Bloodline winning. Main event was all right. Overall, 5 out of 10 for me, but great stream. Jimmy, I'm glad you enjoyed it, buds. And I agree with Jimmy. I'm going to go with a 5 as well. I think for me, this was well below where I would want SmackDown to be. And not because it was pre-recorded, because I didn't know the results. But if you're only going to have 3 matches, I think your matches are going to need to bang. And that main event match was just not good enough. Opening match could have been a little bit better. Not really much in the way of surprises. Even Terrance Crawford coming out, we'd seen him the week before. So, you know, if that was completely out of the blue, maybe that would have hit harder. But, I mean, he hits hard. But him coming out didn't really do anything for me. And I know him, and not personally, but I'm aware of him. I've watched some of his fights. I've got a lot of respect for him, but it didn't really do it for me. Backstage, there wasn't really loads going on. You know, nice Bloodline segment. Gauntlet match, you know, dragged in a few places for me, but the ending was really good. There was bits in the opening match. I mean, scrape it all together, I think you get to an okay score, you know, kind of a mid-card, 5 out of 10 sort of area. But, you know, matches need to be stronger, could do with some surprises, could do with something that really feels meaningful, you know. There was just lots of little things, you know, like Nia beating Bayley, even though the match is already made. Okay, fine. Okay. The Bloodline winning, which was a little bit predictable as well, but gets us to where we need to go. Terrance Crawford, bringing him on the show. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm about that 5 range. And Slam DM said you could tell it was a SmackDown that was going to go head-to-head with the Olympics. Have we got any quoted ones? Odin's Child says, Michael said, I will watch here in the early hours. I've only seen highlights on here, not the full show. K-Pow, yeah, man. K-Pow, yeah, man. Michael, K-Pow, you man as well. Shout out to you. And there we go. Right, we said we would have a look, didn't we, at how this was scored. So let's go over there. Let's go over there. So we've actually had 146 votes, which isn't bad, actually. It's only been up for about half an hour. And it's coming out good again, isn't it? Good 49%. So it's coming out into that good range. You can see this is where NXT was. Great. This is where Raw was. Even bigger great. And look, SmackDown last week. Good. It was good 57, right? So looks like it was about, what's that? That's 22. So looks like it's 78% good. What's this? Ooh, looks like it's a little bit worse, actually. Because this is 69% goods. And this one was 72% goods. The way I do it is I add these 3 numbers together. That's where I get it from. Because I've said before, when it comes to these scores, you can see that says good 57%, right? But I always think, well, these people deserve to be counted as well because they thought it was good. They actually thought it was even better than that. So they enjoyed it. So they deserve to be counted in the good. And these as well, look, 6% thought that it was good as well. So you add them in also. So you basically add them all together. And you then end up with what I think is a more accurate score. So it looks like people preferred this week. No. Yeah. This week they preferred it just that little bit more. Or was it last week they preferred it a little bit more? 22, 31. Last week they preferred it a little bit more. Yeah, last week they preferred it a little bit more. So it looks like it's just a little bit down. But you can see, look, goods. Goods. Like, the SmackDown shows are the only ones that are getting good ratings. That one, though, that was good. That was great. That was great. So it's been, how many? The past 3 weeks, is it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, past 3 weeks. Before that, it was getting great ratings. But past 3 weeks, it's been getting good ratings. So there we go. That was the show. People not massively blown away by it. A little bit of a mixed bag. Some people enjoying it. But this is where we are. And I don't disagree. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed hearing what people thought about SmackDown. We'll be back with another opinions video later, and on the main channel we'll be doing UFC 304. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.